But we'll get into that and what AI is and as far as dimensions and things. But this is just these are just advanced programs that, due to the advancement of technology, they are able to be much more immense with what's programmed. These AIs can only do as much as what's programmed for them. True artificial intelligence requires just that intelligence. And yes, there is a lot more information and a lot more that can be input into the program, but there is no true intelligence there. Once AI gets to the point where it can start writing its own program, then that is and we aren't far off from that, but that is when it truly becomes artificial intelligence. But even still, even when we get to that point where AI can self-assess and start writing its own programming and upgrading itself on its own, based on the initial program that is put into it, then we are at a point where we have artificial intelligence. But even then, it is still a two-dimensional entity. And there's nothing to fear with any two-dimensional entity. And to truly understand artificial intelligence, you would be best served by understanding dimensions in general. So coding is all about zeros and ones, right? So all programs, all computers, cell phones, TVs, and everything are programmed off of coding that is zeros and ones. That is two dimensions, the 0 and the 1. So that's the two dimensions. There is no depth. I mean, we are three-dimensional beings in these physical bodies. So there is depth there. We can have more complex thinking, calculations, emotions. There's depth, the reasoning, the way that we are able to reason through things with memory, attention, and imagination. That the three of those combined create the depth. Artificial intelligence and even just any computer programs have memory, and can have attention, and that's mainly what's going to create the intelligence, is the attention. But it still will lack the imagination, just like animals are different from humans, that they lack the imagination. That's what keeps them different from reasoning man. But we are three-dimensional beings, and AI, when it truly becomes AI, is just a two-dimensional entity. So even if they program them into robots to give them three-dimensional bodies, vehicles to walk around, the intellect is still two-dimensional. And so there is still only so much that can be done with that. And so we will always remain a higher intellect through the capacity of our consciousness. Now, you could then get into what those vehicles can do as far as other souls having vehicles to move into versus physical bodies. But any soul would choose a physical body over some robot anyways. But anyways, we won't even get into that. We're just getting into the dimensions of things. So a two-dimensional entity is just that, two dimensions. So like, for example, with virtual reality, you can go in and create an avatar within your virtual reality. But once, that avatar will only be able to do the things and only have the capabilities of what it's programmed within that virtual reality, that realm, that world. The physics and programming within that world is going to limit the abilities of that virtual avatar. Once you disconnect from it, it no longer is animated. It no longer has anything to do. It no longer has any functions. But that's similar to how our consciousness uses these physical vehicles. When we are in it, we can do tons of different things in our physical life and our waking life. But as soon as we go to sleep and our soul then leaves, there is nothing still going on. And we are also limited by the capabilities of this three-dimensional reality. So it is very similar in how your consciousness can come into this body and control this body while awake and animated within this three-dimensional reality and this physical reality as you move about this realm and live life throughout this realm. It is very similar with, technology and being able to, go into a virtual reality, create an avatar and animate that avatar. But even still, that avatar, while you're moving about with it and using it and utilizing it, there is still no depth to that actual, the avatar within that reality. There is no depth there. It does not feel any of the emotions. It does not have the intellect and higher thinking that you have in the ways in which you are commanding it. And so we are, we are more than just these three-dimensional bodies. We also have souls, which are fourth dimensional bodies, fourth dimension being time. We also have spirits, which are fifth dimensional bodies, fifth dimension being space. But we have a consciousness beyond those that utilize those vehicles. So we are higher dimensional beings inhabiting these physical three-dimensional bodies to exist within this three-dimensional reality. Now, with AI, it is a two-dimensional entity that is being generated and programmed that will have access into this three-dimensional reality through screens. And eventually, they'll implant the programs into robotics and things. And so there will be vehicles that these entities will have, but they will still be lower dimensional entities existing within this higher three-dimensional reality, whereas we are higher dimensional beings existing within this lower three-dimensional reality. So there's never anything to fear. You will always be a greater entity utilizing these vehicles than any kind of AI that can be produced. But that's still far off into the future anyways. We are currently not even experiencing anything that remotely close to AI, although it's not that far off. These are still just programs that are limited by the programming, and they can only execute what the programming has produced for it. But it is good to pay attention to them. It is good to, like all technology, it is good to use it as the tool that it is. Cell phones. Use it. You can communicate with other people without technology. You can also telepathically communicate with people in long distances without technology, but the technology is a tool that helps you to do that. Now, if you allow it to be a crutch, then you will never develop. You will be handicapped in your telepathic abilities if you just allow it to do that. Just like, my wife, she talks to us and the kids all the time about, making sure that you're not just Googling everything all of the time. Allow your own intellect and your own intuition to continue to strengthen and grow and build by finding answers on your own, with searching within yourself and at least exhausting that resource before you move to technology and search engines or AI to find the answer to things. Because if you do that all of the time, then it'll just continue to weaken your own intuitive ability. So technology is good. It's good to harmonize with it and utilize it as a tool, but it's also good to identify that all technology is a reflection of your own intellect. TVs and movies and things. You can create images and movies within your own mind. Telecommunication. You can telepathically communicate with anyone, anywhere. Finding answers to things and search engines and AIs. You can go within and discover the answers to anything, any question that your mind can possibly formulate. Astral projection and things. All technology is based. If you look at a camera and how a camera works, it works the exact same way that the physical eye works, and the eye and the camera both work the exact same way that your mind creates images. The metaphysical mechanics of that is the exact same. But so the same is true with working with AI, is identifying and understanding the programming so that you can better understand how your own mind is programmed, because the mind is meant to be programmed. And so the more that you can understand how these programs evolve, then it'll help you to understand how you can evolve consciously for yourself and update your own programming. But because we are an intellect who can, we aren't limited by just the programming that's entered into our minds. We can update our programming at any time. We just have to understand how the mind works and the metaphysical mechanics of the mind and how our thoughts create our reality, and then upgrading our thoughts, what a thought truly is, a thought being an image, and then identifying how to generate new images, and then instilling that new program to where it overrides the previous program, and you have a new reality on what you're experiencing. And if you're experiencing any kind of bug, some issue keeps on coming up in your life, then you need to patch that and upgrade the programming. So you can also utilize technology as a way to better understand your own knowledge, your own intellect, your own consciousness. But I just wanted to make this quick video real quick because a lot of people, AI is really big right now, and a lot of people talk about AI and things. And there's a lot of people that are afraid of where technology is going. And there is a lot of truth to that, especially as we get into more augmented reality in the next 10 years. There'll be a lot of augmented reality where, you can superimpose a reality over top of what you're currently experiencing. And it's going to be harder and harder for people to decipher, their true reality from what they are immersed within. And it's only going to get worse. So there is a lot of opportunity for people to grow in ways of understanding how to remain connected and centered within themselves and nature, and how to identify and separate what is real, what is not, and utilize technology to where it's a tool, not a crutch or a hindrance for their own self-awareness and growth and expansion. But yeah, I just wanted to kick back and make this video real quick. Let me know if your thoughts on dimensions or AI or technology and things in the comment section. And if you want me to expand upon anything, let me know. I do have other videos expanding more deeply upon the difference between the third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimension, and things. We'll continue to make more. But yeah, appreciate it, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.